Welcome everyone back to LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga. Last time you destroyed my shield generator, but the space station is fully operational and this is failing tremendously, so let's just continue on, shall we? We're going to face the Emperor in this level. That's all that needs to be said. But no, that's not all that needs to be said, as I clearly said at the end of the last part. I have a lot to say. Chapter 5, Jedi Destiny. As the battle between Imperial and Rebel forces rages around the second Death Star, Luke Skywalker confronts Darth Vader, his father, once Anakin Skywalker. From boy slave on Tatooine to hero of the Clone Wars to Sith Lord feared throughout the galaxy, Anakin Skywalker's path has been dark indeed. In front of Emperor Palpatine, his villainous master, Vader must now face his son and reclaim his destiny. Let's start with the minor stuff. Firstly, I just destroyed that building. I can still see the clone trooper panel there. I mean, the AT-AT is now on the other side, but other than that, I just destroyed this. At the end of Speeder Showdown, so I don't know why we destroyed it at the end of that level. That doesn't even happen in the film. This place is in the film. That's why it's here. Does the lightsaber suddenly not work? It works perfectly fine in the level. Can we have tacos? Oh, sorry, Friday is taco night. Oh, but today is Friday. Yep. I'm so excited. Taco, not taco. It's because everybody pronounces it with a posh A. Like taco. That's usually the British way of it. No, everybody does it. The taco. I do really, really love the Emperor scene there. I like the Emperor scene more than I like the Imperial March. We're a bit more straightforward in this one. But again, people will complain. Let's get this. Let's just start now, shall we? People complain that the Supreme Leader Snoke, this all-powerful villain, could not sense any emotional changes in Kylo Ren, even though he was right in front of him. This is a worse offender, because how close is Darth Vader to the Emperor? He is like right. Well, no, he is. He is right next to the Emperor. But he doesn't sense any changes, and I will say this time and time again. Snoke's name, his name alone, gives him more backstory than the Emperor ever had. Yes, they may have been planning on having it in the prequels, but the prequels wouldn't be a thing for so many years. I think you just need to activate all of these to get the... No, I think this is the power brick that gets that, yeah. That is... I think that makes the... I think that gives the Ewoks catapult like a... It's kind of like the torpedoes in the flying levels. That destroys the underside. Ow. But his name alone gives him more backstory than the Emperor. So why is it perfectly fine for the Emperor and not Snoke? Snoke's purpose may not have been what everyone was expecting, but it's a form of character development. It is called a plot twist, and it's like people just don't know what a plot twist is. The focus is on Ben Solo, Kylo Ren. He is the villain here. Now, you don't want this to all come out as being these rehashes that you all claim it to be. Okay, I don't know where they're all coming from, but you don't want to have these rehashes, and yet you get angry when they do something different. And yet you still claim it to be too similar. Which is it? Why is it wrong for Snoke to have no backstory? Boba Fett had no backstory. Jabba the Hutt had no backstory. Darth Maul had no backstory. Grievous had no backstory. The only ones, the only three to have backstory are Anakin Skywalker. We have a whole trilogy based around it. We had Count Dooku, which is completely wasted because they never do anything with it. And who was the other one? Oh yeah, Ben Solo. Why wasn't that obvious? It was obvious. There's nothing more elusive than an obvious fact, which seems to certainly be the case around the Star Wars so-called fan base, because everything is elusive to them because they can't see anything. Right, before we head over to the Emperor, who is just going to wait up there patiently. Darth Vader can use this thing. Nothing in there but a mini kit. Wasn't even that. There's not even a mini kit. Right, you can't use bounty hunter panels. And that also requires bounty hunter, so we can't use that either. I'm not going to make use of absolutely everything straight away, because we have to visit all 3 areas. But you take out the Emperor, you hit him a few times, and then he'll start... It's pretty much the same idea of what we saw with the Count Dooku fights. He'll then start to use his lightning on the character you're playing as, so you got to switch to the other one, and then attack him with him. He'll jump away, and then just repeats that. First thing he's going to do is he's going to electrify the floor, and then he's going to need to stop electrifying certain parts of the floor. I don't know why he decides to stop, but he does. We reach him, attack him. Okay, I switch to Luke. I thought his lightning was ineffective before. It takes forever to start doing anything to Luke. But I did always love Sidious's line, and now, young Skywalker, you will die. I always loved the sound of that. I wonder what he was trying to do beforehand. And one thing I keep hearing mixed stuff about, so is like his wrinkled face and everything, is that his true look, or is it a deformity from when Mace Windu deflected the lightning back? That's why I was never sure. I hear, like, sometimes I read that it deforms him, other times I read that it reveals his true look. So which one is it? Because he's a human. That part we know. He is a human. Right. Yeah, every single time you take out Sidious, he'll send out some of these guys that never get a chance. And this is the most you will ever see them do, because they never get a chance to do anything in the films. We never really see them do anything in Return of the Jedi, and Yoda just tosses them aside in Revenge of the Sith. We don't even know where they come from in Revenge of the Sith. They're just suddenly there. Because you know Palpatine does have that guy that's like a guard, but he sort of then just disappears after a bit. But the last thing he says is, then he's not dead. It's the last thing we hear him say. Well, this room is a lot brighter. Like, these things on the walls, they're new to this. These are not in LEGO Star Wars 2. I destroyed one, why can't I destroy the other? And this thing is a bit more noticeable now. Luke, you're doing a great job. Forget it. I'm pretty sure that's just for a mini kit. Yeah, this is even though it's the second to last level, this is pretty much the final boss of the game. So the final boss is the penultimate level. I mean, there are plenty of games that have where the boss isn't the very last thing you do. Loads of games have an aftermath. If not, it's an unlockable level that you either get for completing the story or for going after a particular set of objects. Again, not going to make much use of that. Can I make the true Jedi this time? Come on, this is like the most appropriate level to get it in. Once we deal with Ugly here. I wish we could deflect back his lightning though, but we can't. I mean, Yoda's the only one that we know to do that. I'm pretty sure you can just walk right into it and nothing happens. Yeah, you can. Just walk into the lightning. Wait, so what was the point of the cutscene beforehand then? That showed us you can walk into lightning. The typical cutscene showing us a bunch of things you can do. It looks like there should be a power break there, but nothing happened. And again, why are suddenly this things being destroyed up in the air? Darth Vader is much more effective with these guys because he can force choke them. All Luke does is just use Jedi mind tricks. Even though we were using force chokes on Ganon in the Jabba the Hutt levels, we can't use it on the guards. I don't get it. Yeah, and every few seconds, and it gets really annoying because it does it during gameplay as well when you're playing as him. The Emperor laughs. It gets very annoying very fast. You just keep hearing. Now, one thing I was never sure about though. No, this is different. In Lego Star Wars, yeah, you needed Darth Vader on this side, I believe, in Lego Star Wars 2. In Lego Star Wars 1, it might just be me, but I could have sworn that the Emperor is very slightly slower. There we go. Than the other Jedi characters, the other Sith characters. It's very slight, but he does seem to be a tiny bit slower. But his moves are pretty cool to watch. You know, every lightsaber character's effectiveness is exactly the same, but his moves are still pretty cool to watch. Right, well, he's got him one more time and see if I can do this all with both attacking. Yeah, there we go. Look, he didn't even keep shooting his lightning that time. Darth Vader was perfectly fine. Now he's not. What we don't see here is Luke completely losing his mind. He nearly kills his father in a fit of rage. But God forbid he sacrifices a life to save a galaxy. And where did Vader's helmet just go in Luke's hands there? They just disappeared. And God forbid Luke sacrifices one life to save a galaxy, child or not. He nearly kills his father in a fit of rage and he shoots small animals for fun. Honestly, I find this more emotional than the actual movie though. I mean, the movie's fine. It is a nice ending, but there's something about the silence here until that happens. Help me get this mask off. Oh no, he's dead because of what the Emperor did a while ago. I better take his body, just cause. Although once again, nobody was going to be sucked out of that hangar bay. Nobody should be breathing in that hangar bay. But we're just going to ignore it. Just like how we're going to ignore the fact that the Emperor was killed with no backstory or a name. He may have had a name in this, but otherwise he had no name. Like so many other villains in Star Wars, but it's only a problem in one. Even though he is just not the focus, we can't accept that. Though we've accepted it so many times before, like so many other things. Anyway, yeah, finally we're back to some short levels. Next up, we're finally going to conclude the saga-ish. Seeing as we have 4 more films now, and at least another 2 in the works. No, another 5 in the works. Right, well, I will see you guys next time when we destroy the Death Star.